Yes, the chocolate covered lady pop is in the building. Oh, that's where they went to.
Somebody took it. I ain't found it.
What you want?
Let's go move.
What's your name today, Missy? What's your name, Missy or Quisha?
Well, my family told me this.
What you want to be? Quisha? Boy by the jail, case management. That's Case Smith.
What was the last time when he was getting on us about being smacked up? Oh, yeah, okay. Now I remember. I'm looking like, no, I know him. Okay, alright. Out here getting smocked up, huh? Exactly. Look at you. Look at her. Yeah. And I found that word so funny now, cause I be girl, you already getting smacked up. I'm like, I'm gonna refer you to Wesley about that bull crap.
Right, don't be out here getting smacked up.
Getting smacked up. Now I be looking at dudes sideways like, what you gonna do? You gonna smack me up?
Mm-hmm.
Wrap it up. You know, you done made it bad for the fellas. Hey, what's going on, bro? Well, actually, I'm about to go to the radio station. I'm gonna be free after 9. I'm sure that's too late for you, but sure about to start. I hear you say again. Oh, alright. Alright, bro. Did you go to the fair?
I ain't had nobody to go with.
Girl, I had paid for 2 other events. Plus I'm trying to pay for another one.
What's on? Because I wanted to go to Connecticut next week because they have one, but now they have a different one that's $50.
Hey, a regular one? I like regular.
I love it. That's my favorite. But I don't have no friends who really enjoy it, so.
Well, my start radio show. 79 right now. I'm great stuff. Yeah, I
And she just married her niece. Remember that little girl Taylor? So that was her niece. She just married her niece.
So I got a question for y'all. If everybody has their own friends, family, networks, and all that other kind of stuff. So if someone suddenly passes away, and you're done with the task of taking care of their children, carrying out their estate, etc., and one of their very close friends revealed that this person didn't even really like you guys. And carrying out the estate, are you going to do what this person would have entrusted you to do, or you want to do what you want to do?
Only because what they're telling you now is hearsay because the other person is deceased and no longer able to say yay or nay to that. So the fact that you're telling me that, thank you very much, but ain't like I go to the graveyard and be like, yo, what you said? You said you ain't like me, but you asked me to take care of your children, you know. It's a little too late for you to tell me that.
It's tough because I don't even want to say because if my children buried me in one of them grandmother suits from what's that store in the mall that all the church ladies?
Oh, the Shanghai. Oh, the
yeah.
Shanghai.
You put me in a Shanghai suit, I'm gonna be pissed. Cause you know I would not have worn that, and you gonna pack makeup on my face.
No, I'm not going to.
And then what you gonna do my head?
It glitter. Platinum hair, it glitter.
Platinum hair.
And glitter. That's right.
Cremate me immediately and spend the money how you
already on my face. I'm gonna be a single living. I'ma still be twerking 7 years old. And she was like,
I'm not even old now.
Girl, 80 years old, still twerking. She was like, I'm gonna be so embarrassed. I can see that right now. I'm gonna be embarrassed.
They gonna put your ass right out there.
I was like, you gonna call my daughter? To remove me from the press. And he made videos.
Why are you in his room, Miss Smith? Didn't we take you out of here several times this week?
I was like, yup, getting smacked up. Hey, that made you earn the right to just get like that. if you live to see that all day, man, you earn the right to get smacked up. I'll be sitting in that office yesterday. So you decided that you want to be in this room? Absolutely, I sure did. If I'm gonna go, I want to go with a big, dumb, stupid smile right on my face. Exactly. Okay. Why not? A big, dumb, stupid smile on my face. I want him to go to sleep later.
Exactly.
Smile.
Like Miss Smith, we wanted to get children.
Right. But he died how he got. My lawyer could get me off on that.
Miss Smith, why are you 100 going to jail for?
That's right. Giving happy endings.
That's how they do this. YouTube world, what's going on? Check us out every Monday night, 7 p.m.
No.
What vacation?
Oh, celebration.
This is what
I told my supervisor, I said, I don't need no more. I said, but I think I'm going to retire. I was like, y'all, this every
how
time.
many years you got?
18.
Yes.
One of y'all?
One of the 6.
I think it's because for one thing, they seem like they just got everything screwed. I was like, why seem like ain't nothing organized right now?
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things that I noticed. No real structure.
I'm like, we doing one thing, and then I find out when I turn around and, oh no, you supposed to, you got
Every
every
6 months. every office,
And this
every
shit,
region.
and I see that they'll be like, well, this is my people, and this is my people, and I'm like, what? We all in the same damn office. What you talking about my people? Like we on a ship or something. We about to go catch a ride to, some crazy destination. They don't hurt people. I told her, I said, I'm gonna be tired one time. I'm not doing it, y'all.
Gotta go 3 minutes.
But she can look at, she keep looking for jobs on the side. Cause she had left before and went to work with me. But then she came back. And, yeah. So she can look at she said, and one of our supervisors already moved in the department at the time. So, Clark, that Clark is probably like 67 years old. I'm like, Clark, how many more years did you really have to give somebody to do?
I'm going to do a panel of African American female supervisors. So I just got to get the data.
Yeah, I supervise for a man, but and I'm
I need you to come and be on the panel.
that was supervising.
And I'm doing
I keep
the women.
I keep hearing that from women that get in leadership positions. That is like hard. Or like a lot
So
of
my
times
dissertation is on the followers' perspective, but I want to talk to the supervisor because I'm not writing on it. I can talk about it. So I want to talk to the African American female supervisor because it may be something that I'm missing, looking from this perspective.
I think the problem with African American female supervisors that get in those positions, dealing with African American women that are direct reports, is that when we look at each other, we look at each other and say, we sisters, we look just alike. So why are you expecting me to follow the same rules as everybody else? We supposed to be, and I don't see it that way. We acting in two different capacities at that point. You know what I mean?
So you think I want you to let them slide?
I think, and then two, keep in mind, I was supervising some people that I was friends with. And that's even harder because then they looking at you like,
Yeah, you definitely should be supervising your friends.
you mean, but that's what happened. But keep in mind, I had been in case management for a long time, so it was like, I knew people from different regions and things of that nature, worked with them.
I don't think they should promote you in your same institution. I don't think they should do that because then we've already established one way of working with each other. Now you want to put one of us over top of another one? Like, you used to take 40 minutes from lunch. Now you're telling me I gotta take 30 minutes?
Yeah, I say take 30 minutes and take 15 minutes to go to the bathroom and relieve yourself of your lunch. Okay? You know what I mean? But see, people, so like I said, when you're dealing with people that you cool with, now I will say, while I was at the pen, I didn't have it as hard with them because they already knew. They was like, you already know how you are. So we just gonna go ahead and let it roll. Hell yeah, because I'm telling you right now, I'm not putting my John Hancock on nothing that's jacked up. Don't ask me to. Period. You know what I mean?
I think that's different. You're not gonna give me sloppy work and expect it because we're friends and everything like
Oh,
sloppy.
I got cussed out before.
Credit card companies make their money.
I mean, got cussed out. I said, my goodness gracious, girl. I said, you was some kind of thing.
Credit cards. They can make your minimum payments every month. Here's what's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over
But now
$13,000.
that I'm not in the supervisory role,
It's going to take over $13
Do you think,
$25,000 balance. That's how
Do
they
you
make
think
money.
that any position needs to be a puppet
By
to
calling
the
the Cash
administration?
Solutions Network, we'll work on your
and because whenever you work for an agency or you work for somebody else, you're always gonna be a puppet. Simple as that. That's what you accept. But I think what I did, because I understood policy, I read it. I think I pushed back on some of the stuff, but I learned how to do it, opposed to just saying that's dumb and why are we doing X, Y, Z? You know what I mean? I posed the changes in the form of a question, and I created a solution. So I'll be a puppet as long as you pay me. You know what I mean?
And not necessarily all puppet station.
It's mad.
But I pop it with a limit.
I'm not treating people.
The show's founded on
How
WMSK Radio.
you told me to treat
Can't promote any lifestyle.
Yeah, that's something that
Political affiliation.
I didn't stop. Like I had my own leadership style, and I stopped with it. Some people didn't like it, and some people was like, "Heck with it." Like, and I mean, people used to say, "Just do what you're supposed to do, and you ain't got to worry about her saying nothing." You know, and that's it. I mean, how hard is that? You know, when you're doing dumb stuff, and then you want me to turn around and fight for you. What am I fighting? I'm gonna fight for you.
Don't be trying to damn now, Wesley. Good evening. Welcome to WMSK Online Radio. This is Open Wide with Neeuq. We come on every Monday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Thank you for joining us. We missed you last week, but we are here. We are ready to talk about some great topics. We are here to facilitate that juicy noise for you. This is your host, the Ebony Queen Neeuq, coming at you live every Monday night. Make sure you're catching us. Hey, Kalia, what's going on, baby? Make sure you're checking out my website, www.oneanddonprograms.org. Have a lot of things happening in the community. We have your CPR and first aid training needs, as well as event coordination and other services for you. We have the fine, wonderful, electable Mr. Wesley Hawkins in the building. Yes, he done got his hair cut, y'all, shirt tight, busting out like the Incredible Hulk. We gotta check him out. What's up, Wesley?
Ain't too much. Just out here, you know, doing what I need to do for our people, our community. Trying to get more people involved in the work. I'm Wesley Hawkins, for those who don't know, founder of the No Leader Project. I feel like if we need and want change in our community, then we have to get involved. And getting involved includes different capacities. Maybe you are donating to an organization you believe in, and not just a church, an organization that is at the grassroots ground levels. Maybe you are volunteering a certain amount of hours that you have allocated per month. Maybe you are mentoring or helping out with someone, or maybe you just giving away free food or old clothes. But I feel like do your part, because as people of color, we are behind, and we need to do as much as we can as people to catch up. But we're going to get on some other topics today. I'm just here to have fun, laugh, relax, joke, and actually get in some heads and some minds and some hearts of some people out there. So let's get ready.
All right, y'all. So we have a returning guest. We have the chocolate-covered Lady Pop Missy in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Damn. So make sure y'all checking her out. What's your name on Facebook? Well, you don't want people to follow me.
What's my name on Facebook? That's my
Your real name? Okay, Quasia Smith. Check her out, y'all. She be cracking up, having us laughing and having a good time. So I was reading a little article today. A lady was saying that she got with this guy, and he ended up getting full custody of his children. However, he's never there. He's working. He's not really tending to the children, and she has been done with the task of raising his children. As his girlfriend, yes. Not married to him or anything. So she's questioning the status of their relationship because she doesn't like his father. Which brings me to the motherfucking question of the day. Why do y'all women stay with these men who do not take care of their children?
I want to say that part of that, I mean, for the story that you just told, a lot of that is her fault. Number one, because first of all, did you all talk about this? Did you all have a plan in place about the babysitting issue, and you being more or less like a surrogate mom to them? If you didn't have that conversation and I didn't agree to do that, but yet here they are, whose fault is that really? It's really hers.
But aren't you trying to support your man?
I don't have to support you in that form of fashion. They have a mother, And I would prefer that you two, him and the mother, have a conversation about the care of their children. If they want me involved, then I would expect that the two of them would come to me as adults and ask me if I wanted to be involved and if I could, how.
So
lay that out.
if he had full custody, I don't think the woman is trying to do too much anyway.
She may not, but she's still the mother, and even with her not having custody, I still feel like she should know who's in the company of her children.
I think that's very humbling and
I mean,
responsible.
But to say, well, I'm going to work and they stay here, no, we're not doing it like that. The kids will be outside on the porch in the heat.
So no.
Hold on. You were doing so well.
Yeah, she started out.
You
She
just
started
jumped
out
straight
real
off
good,
the
and then
cliff.
she just she jumped by that.
Yeah,
I don't know who they are.
So
Somebody
I feel like I've always wondered that myself. Like, why do women end up dealing with or staying with men who don't take care of their child? Like, he has a son or a daughter out here. He might have 1, 2, or 3. Some might have 4, 5, or 6 kids. And when you, as a woman, continue to allow yourself to be with a man that's not taking care of his responsibilities as a man to his prior child before you, what does that speak upon who you are and what you represent? A lot of people look at it like, oh, they might not do that to me. He just did it to her, or they did it to somebody else. No, a lot of the times, if a person is like that, so I'm gonna backtrack really quick. Sometimes you'll have a man that is really fighting for his child and trying to be in his child's life, right? But the woman is so scorned and hurt that she don't allow the man to come around because her and that man is not together in a relationship. So now she won't let that man be a father to his child. But if you are a woman and you with a man and that man is not doing no reaching out, no communicating, no giving no type of financial assistance, no visits, no nothing, and he's acting like that child does not exist, what does that speak about what the woman is? Because I feel like now she's extremely selfish because the only thing she's worried about is herself and what she getting out of the ordeal. I don't even feel like that's a good woman to be with. Because if I don't have a biological child, but if I had a child and I got into a relationship with a woman and she saw and knew I was not taking care of my child, that's not the woman either for me. Because I feel like that woman should encourage and employ that man to become and be a better father to his child, regardless on if he with the woman or not. Like, because if you have a child with that man, don't you want that man to be able to still be a good father to your child if you have a child with this man? And I feel like a lot of women are allowing that to slide by because they can get their needs met. There's a lot of women out here allowing men to not foster and take care of their own child, but if he's over here with you, he can take care of those responsibilities he's had with you, but because he got one with another woman and he's not with her no more, she's allowing him to slide.
But
why?
isn't that the expectation most times when you come into a relationship and you have outside children that don't live with you? Isn't it expected that you, as the man of this house, take care of this house?
Yes.
So it is, but I think some of that comes. It's a deficit there because if you gotta have a woman who, let's say for all intents and purposes, she's accepting the situation that you're talking about. You gotta look at where she comes from. Mm-hmm. Because if she came from a household where there was no a real male figure that she could say was constant there, then that's what she's doing right now.
So
She's searching.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that as well. Because sometimes we have people that do grow up in households that they haven't really experienced or been taught certain things. So you might have a woman that her father was never there.
Right.
Her big brothers, her uncles, and the men around her was never really present. So now she don't know how to be properly treated and loved by men. So that happens a lot in our communities, but that's not everybody's circumstance and that's not everybody's situation. but that can affect some people in a different way. So I know me personally, because I didn't grow up in a happy together household per se, I yearn and desire to try to be the best father and husband and boyfriend when I am in those positions and situations. So when I become a father, it's like now I yearn and desire to be the most active and available father because I know how it felt for my parents not to be there. If I'm with a woman and I see she has kids, I'm gonna try to be as most engaged and active as possible because I've seen how it can affect me and other kids when a man is not present. So I agree with what you said.
All right, y'all. So we have our first caller. Hello, caller. Thank you for calling Open Wide with Neeuq on WMSK Online Radio.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. It's your turn.
Okay, I was just thinking things to me.
We can.
Okay. So, let me first thing that I would say, like, before we talk about insane hoes, I do not agree with a woman being with a man that does not take care of children. I feel like there are certain circumstances that, can kind of change this a little bit. And the only reason, like, I would give some kind of way like this is because I went with, like, something like a relationship, where I started dating somebody, and at the time, when we started dating, like, the woman was pregnant, and he was unsure if the baby was his or not. So he did put the child. He did put a child, but it was kind of like at a minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like when she was born, when she was something like, and he was like, let's go on the same bed until I was depressed. Like I'm not gonna be on the top now. And just for this, because I don't want to say that there's anything wrong with this person. Um, he felt like once he knew for sure, or he stepped up and he had shown your prior to that, he can work and kind of. But, I feel like there are certain situations or certain circumstances where things could be a little different.
So can I ask you a question?
As a woman, we're women with us, we always know. We always know because it comes from us. But if you're in a situation where you don't know, you still give 110%.
But let me ask you a question first. So even if he was unsure if the child was his, how long were you going to give him to find out? Because he could do minimally for years until, and never take any steps to move forward to find out if it is his. How long do you give him for that?
Great question, right? So I feel like, it's about usually, like, I'm sure, like, he was between, like, 3 or 4 weeks to get a tested. Maybe not that long. I don't know per se. But, I feel like if you're unsure, then you need to get that done, like, immediately. Like, don't wait until child 2 or 3 or anything like that. Like, because that's just going.
So what steps did y'all make? So quick question, what steps did y'all take to make sure if the child was his or not?
So, first of all, I have to take this together, but I'm putting out that we are. And we are, and he's had the test done now. He's waiting for the results. But I still like, do what you can. Do what you can. Because at the end of the day, you were there. You weren't asking. You are a candidate.
But do what you can. What is that? What is do what you can? I don't. So I know you wouldn't want him to do too much because just in case it's not his, then you've spent thousands of dollars for possibility.
No, I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. Because personally, my feelings are you were there. So if you were there, then whatever you lose, you lose.
So how old is it?
Is
the child born already? How old is the child?
I'm sorry, can you?
How old is the child?
The child,
Yes, how old is the child?
he's 3 months.
Okay, so if it comes back his, are you gonna stay?
Well, yeah, because the conception was before me. The conception was before me. So, yeah, most definitely I would. But the thing is that, like, it wasn't like he knew, like, through her entire pregnancy and all of that stuff. He found out me. And it was like, well, like, who you been with in between this time? And it is what it is. Like, but I still push you to do more than probably the average guy would. I don't say stay away, count them. Because if you stay away and then it comes out what it is, then you miss out on all these opportunities.
I mean, not really, because so that's a little different. The child is only 3 months. It shouldn't take a DNA test more than 3 months or a long time. So if he's already been tested and y'all just waiting for the test, as a man, I don't feel like there's a lot that could and needs to really be done or invested between this time period. Unless he has like some type of gut feeling that it might be, I would say in communication or make sure I keep in contact to see what's going on and make sure I'm looking for these results. But I don't feel like that's a long time to wait for results because how long should results take?
But I mean, a couple of weeks. But the baby
That's not a
in the
lot of
meantime
time.
is still growing, developing, needing stuff,
The thing is, it's
needing your
not like
closeness.
it's not as simple as like people think. I think if you like go to child support or something like that, you get it back like almost immediately. But if you do like a private thing, like you do private like I guess doctors or whatever, and get a test. Now you go to child support, they make sure that the results are in before you have to show up in court again. With them, it's a little longer, like sometimes it'll take a few weeks. But still, I still do this. Like, again, she called and said, I need papers. And I'm like, well, he's like, so what do you think I should do? And I'm like, send her papers. Because at the same time, you were there.
I'm really seeing nothing wrong with that.
I think she's being very supportive
Yeah,
of him. But I think there's still other things that need to be done. I mean, other than these monetary things, the child still needs time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but that's
No. I'm not saying that Old does monetary things. That's not what I'm saying. He does, let's spend time with him, in between this time that's been going on. He does spend time with him, but it's a long time. Like not
see, y'all might think that's okay. Me personally, just how I think.
So you're saying don't do anything till you get the test?
I'm not saying don't do anything. But what I'm saying is don't go all the way in because y'all saying build a relationship and bonds and emotions and stuff like that over time until you find out. You don't know what type of an effect that's going to have on that child. If say if he was like, I want to be fully engaged and he getting the baby every day from daycare, dropping them off, keeping them for days, spending mad time with it, and then a month later, 2 months later, some results come in and it said it's not yours. So the baby have grown some type of attachment now. I've seen and watched babies like really cry and like break down when one person leaves the room. So if you invest in all of this extra time and you unsure, that can be damaging too. So I'm not saying don't be engaged. What I'm saying is not being as engaged for those couple of weeks while you're waiting, I don't believe will do as much damage and harm as being fully engaged and then being 100% detached. That's what I'm saying. Because when you talk about children are very impressionable at a young age. And when you're that impressionable at that young age, they build attachments at a young age. So a family member of mine, what's going on, brother? His daughter don't even like to leave his side. Like, she don't want nobody else picking her up. When he leaves the room, she cries and breaks down and things like that. She's that attached to her dad. So what I'm saying is, if this man does not feel or think that that's his child, getting those test results don't take that long. So missing a couple of weeks, in my personal opinion, it's not going to be as harmful as being extremely active and then disappearing forever.
The reality of it is that the way things are set up now, you can actually do DNA testing in the womb.
I feel like
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's like $1,500. Ain't nobody paying for that.
The thing about that is you can't do DNA testing in the womb, but it has to be between 4 and 6 months. And if you go over 6 months or if you're less than 6 months of time, you need to see. That's it. Your antibiotics to it has to be at a certain level. Please believe me. Like there was something that was looked at. They can't do nothing at all times.
I think waiting until the baby is here is. I mean, I don't think you got to do all of that DNA in the womb and all
Birth
that.
it should be mandatory.
Mandatory.
As soon as you give birth, if both parents present, let's get this DNA out the way.
Well, that is the purpose of now, when they all born now.
Y'all doing too much.
That's not doing too much.
The father,
I said in the womb, they can do DNA testing in the womb.
Yeah.
They can, but I ain't talking
Yeah,
about
but
doing
it
that.
costs way too much money, and it's like a certain
in
window.
utero, yeah. But I mean, that's the purpose of them now. Like the fathers do not sign those birthing cards or anything like that, and you don't do that until they give them now enough time to do that. So that when you go to get their social security cards and stuff like that, you have to sign an affidavit of parentage. And that's how your name goes on those birth
Because
certificates.
once your
It doesn't
information,
go.
seriously, once your information go on that stuff, if that's your child or not, it's hard to get it off of it. It's hard to get it off of a birth certificate and being locked in on side of child's information once you are already locked in. So if a woman have a child and the man is happy and gung ho, he said that's his child, cool. I applaud him. He says he's gonna be the father. But what if that child is not his? Once he's locked in on that documentation, if something happens to that man, he is now legally liable for that child. If that man never comes off of the birth certificate, what you say? Say it again.
Alright, so I say, can I make 2 little points?
Go ahead.
Right? So I'm able to look at this from both sides of the spectrum. And maybe that's why I'm more open to the idea, because I know both sides of it, right? My, no, let me not start on that side. Let me start on that.
What you feel, man?
So, my dad, right, who I've always known as my father, I've never known anybody else to be my dad, right? But a few years ago, it's probably, I'm 31 now, it's probably when I was like 25, right? And I was at a pool, like crazy thing. I went to school with this girl my whole life. And she was like, you know my sister, right? And I'm like, I'm your what? And she like, you my sister. And I'm like, no, I'm definitely not. Like, my mother is not your mother. And my dad is not your dad. So I'm definitely not your sister. And she's like, no, you definitely are my sister. Like, we were like maybe not really raised together, but we are sisters, right?
Right.
So I grew up my entire life knowing this man as my dad. Like the person who I knew was my dad was my dad's dad. And then I had a blood test done when I turned like 27. And like I said, I'm 31 now. And found out that who I thought was my dad my whole life is not my dad.
So I can agree with that. I can. Because I know somebody in my actual family who's went through the same thing. The man that they thought was their father their entire life, they didn't find out that that was not their biological father until she was in her late 20s. So her entire life, she grew up thinking this one man was her father. And guess what? She lived with that man for a large portion of her life as well. So when she found out, and the reason why it made her wonder is because she grew up her whole life kind of feeling like an outcast in that family. She felt like she didn't look like none of them. She didn't relate to none of them. She didn't have like no connections, but she grew up thinking and knowing that's my father. That's my father. When she got older in her late 20s, she got the blood test, and then they said that's not her dad. Then she did some research and found out who her real father is. and it devastated her as a grown woman. So I agree with what she's saying, that you can have people that feel or think somebody is their parent, and because people never got those proper testing, and because sometimes people lay around and do their thing with other people, you're not always 100%.
That's why
Right.
at birth is definitely.
Yeah.
We're
Because
talking about why women stay with men who don't take care of their child.
I believe the most very or the very
Hold
important thing
on.
that's good for a kid, that's for every kid, is that every kid should know who their parents are, where they come from. I'm like, I think it's very disgusting because I've seen women do it. I've had women in my family to do it. To have a child by one man and give your child another man's last name.
Yeah.
I think it's devastating, and I was like, you are creating a problem. And I think that knowing your last name, knowing where you come from, is going to be way more important to you as an adult than it is going to be as a child.
so if she married to another man,
No. What she did, she had a baby by one guy that was way too old for her. That's number one. He went to jail, and while he was in jail, during his pregnancy, she told no boy that he was a father. Had his mother, when I say she went above and beyond for her, she provided all this stuff for her. And how he found out they was moving one day, and he found a letter that she wrote to him, telling him that she had the baby, but what was her name, and why she named her that. I had to give her his name because right now he still thinks that it's his, and he found it.
so my question is, you said have a child by someone, but you know who the father is, but that's not the man you with. So what if the woman gets married to another man? Do she give her children the last name of the man she's married, or she should give her children the last name of the father?
She gives your child the last name of its
Of
father.
their biological fathers, because and we've seen this as to do. We all get older, we move, we go to different little places, we're meeting people. You know what I mean? And it's a hell of a thing. I used to work with this girl that lived in South Carolina for a good little minute. She was born and raised in South Carolina, and the guy that she met and was dating or whatever, they kept, every time they talk about people that they seemed to knew, and they knew all of these people. And she's like, yeah, we need to meet up, let our families meet up. Come to find out that she was actually dating a cousin. It was a close bloodline cousin too. But she had no clue because her mother did what a lot of mothers do. You name her one thing, don't tell her who her people are. And then she run around here and she done moved off, she done met somebody, but you met somebody that's in your bloodline.
Right. So I want to speak on that really quick. So that happens a lot. That happens actually a lot, and people overlook how often it happens. A lot of us don't know our family heritage. A lot of us don't know who our relatives are, and a lot of us don't know how much family we actually have out here. So you could be dating a cousin, you could be dating a sister you never met because your father had kids with another woman. So when we move in certain ways and we don't stay in constant communication and connection with family members, and we don't have gatherings and things like that, and we move as a separate, entity, as different individuals, sometimes you might not meet or know a family member to family reunions, and then some people don't go or until somebody passed away. So it's like I've even, felt that way before. Like when a family member might pass away, and at a funeral, I'm like, oh my God, I went to school with him. I didn't even know he was my cousin. I went to school with her, or I worked with her, or she lived down the block from me. You at this funeral, who are you? And then come to find out, oh, we got the same uncle, we got the same grandmother, we got the same great aunt or something like that. And we never ever connected or saw each other in a family sense. But we lived on the same block, we went to the same schools, we might have had the same employment and things like that, because a lot of people don't stay in contact and constant communication, one, with family. And then another part of it is, it's like some of us are just out here, and y'all know I bring this up all the time. Some of us are out here just willy-nilly having sex. And my term is too many women getting smacked up too freely. Like seriously, y'all know that's my term right now. Too many women, and that's just my personal sense. It's like you laying up with these men, and these men have children all over town. And dudes, men, y'all can get upset with me if you want, and that's okay. That's cool because I feel like we need to all hold each other more accountable. You know, it's men out here that have 5, 6, 7 kids. They know they got 5, 6, and 7 kids, but they still haven't changed their lifestyle to make sure they take care of those kids they already have. And secondly, they haven't changed the lifestyle to make sure they're not making the 8th or 9th child. And thirdly, they have 8, 7, 4, 5 kids, and they're not making sure these kids know each other.
Right.
No matter how much you got a attitude problem or don't like their mother, those kids should know each other.
And that's why it's important for women to hold these men accountable. Don't just let this man be not taking care of his kids or whatever, because you really don't know what's going on. If God forbid you have a kid by him, then those kids don't know each other. He should be taking care of his children. And for y'all bum bitches who out here and you're allowing him to stay away, or you're making it conditional for him to be in your house and don't really make him or not really concerned about those other kids, you ought to be ashamed of your damn self.
See, I
Because the
asked my
children should know each
fiance,
other.
I asked my fiance, I heard the topic, I asked my fiance, she said, because she experienced it, she had dated a guy before who, you know, had kids with another female and he wasn't a good father. So I asked her, I was like, so what attracted you to that? Was like, she said, because it was easy. She said, because it was just easy and because, you know, when you dating somebody, you want their full attention. You don't want to have to worry about baby mama drama and all that kind of stuff. And if you're not dealing with, exactly, I said, if you're not dealing with his kids, then I'm not going to deal with the baby mama. I said, well, you was attracted, that's selfish. And you was attracted to an irresponsible boy. Like, you wasn't even dating a man. Like, so you got to rephrase the whole question because now he's a boy. He's not even a man because he don't take care of his kids. So what are you attracted to?
Well, the good thing about me is
That's a good
now
question.
because
What are you attracted to? That's
I'm
that
older
question.
now, and that whole I can't deal with the men. I mean, your children have got to be grown or almost grown. So I ain't getting into all of that baby math. No baby mama.
So
But
I've always
just because
that's
it's
a good point.
and it's limited. I don't want to date a guy that has 3, 4 kids. I don't want to be going for that. You know what I mean? I don't. And you know what? And I can accept a man because I had a man tell me that he didn't want to really keep dealing with me because I had a daughter. Because he was like, he wasn't ready for that. Although I never asked him to be anything. I never asked you for anything.
But isn't that the expectation of men? When
no,
they want
actually,
to
no.
No,
And
no,
I'm
that's
gonna
not
tell
true.
you why.
That's people
No,
now.
I didn't want that from him. Why? I had my daughter, she was my responsibility. I was good with that. I could handle that just fine. I wanted him for myself. I never wanted him to step in and be a parent, but I will say in some women's defense, when we make decisions like that, I made a bad decision. I had a child with a guy, but we was together for a good little minute. I met him, I was, 19? He was like 25 back then. And I didn't have my daughter till about 6 years later. I was like 24 when she came along. But in any event, she was his third child. When I got with him, he said, I got a daughter. I'm like, okay. But when I became pregnant, all of a sudden his mother kept saying, I hear that he has a son. And I'm like, a son? What son? Girl, they went looking for that. And when I say he looked identical to him, and I was like, why are you? I said, what happened? I was like, where did he come from? And he was like, well, the girl told me a while ago that, she had a son by me, but I really didn't want to believe her. Why not? Y'all look like identical. So I couldn't necessarily, and he was terrible. Once my daughter was born, that was it. That was all. When he figured out he could no longer manipulate and control me, he didn't want to help me raise her. And I had to be okay with that. But I couldn't blame it all on him. Why? Because there was some big red flags there long before she came along. And I ignored them all.
So that right there, that's big for what she just said. But again, y'all know how my ideology on certain things is a lot of people aren't taught certain things, and then some things are taught. So what I mean by a lot of this stuff is learned behavior. So when you have a young girl that grow up and she watch her mother be with multiple men. So one thing I don't play with, and I'll tell women this anytime, like, so sex feels good. Sex is great. We like it, especially if it's a person that we want to enjoy ourselves with. Sex feels good to a lot of people. But I am not to the point that to do anything or take away my integrity, especially the man I am now, that I'm laying up just doing anything. If you have a child, young sister, young woman, young queen, do not invite me around your child early in the stage and you unsure if me and you are going to build a relationship. A lot of women go wrong by doing that, and I want y'all to know this. These men should not be around y'all children if you are unsure or just in a dating or having fun stage or phase with a man. This man should not be around your child.
That's a show.
Like, seriously.
But nowadays, the intentions for the man and the women ain't where we think they should be.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
What you
mean?
Future, they don't care about them hanging around their kid because they trying to get smacked. Yeah, man, and then you gone. They don't care about the kid learning his man and stuff like that, or how this man about to treat the kid.
No, that's real.
I'm gonna smack him and I probably never see him ever again. So him learning my kid or how you gonna treat my kid in the court.
Well, you already know how I feel about that. These stretch marks came from me getting big. You want me to know I had children.
But no, see, that's your approach though, man. But it's a lot of women out here that as soon as they meet a guy, or they dating 2 and 3 and 4 guys, and almost every guy has met their child. That is not good. First of all, that is not good in protection of your child, your young son or your daughter. That's very dangerous. Because when you just in the beginning trying to get to know somebody, you're trying to figure them out yourself as an adult and as a parent. Don't bring your kids in that harm. If you can't find a babysitter, it's not your time to have fun at that moment. I tell people that all the time. Sometimes once you have a child, that's a lot of sacrificing and a lot of things that you have to miss out on in life. Once you bring child in this world, you have decided that it's not just about you anymore. Your child is first. A lot of people don't understand that. People have children and still decide to, oh, I'm going to just do whatever. And that's why some of this stuff that get passed on. So when I speak about trauma, we pass this trauma on instead of learning from it, growing from it, and then leave it in the past of us. So once, if you, again, a young girl or a young man, and you've seen traumatizing type things, if you didn't learn to grow and get it passed on, now, if you aren't moving in a certain way, you pass that on to your kids. So I deal with a lot of kids and a lot of youth. It's young girls out here right now that's young. They dealing with dudes that's twice their age. This has been passed on for a long time. You got women saying, oh, I date older guys. So when we looking at older men saying, oh, he's this and he's that, there are young girls that are specifically going out trying to entice older men, grown men. Like, it's just certain things, and that's passed on. That's a learned behavior from whoever you grew up with, whoever you was around, the people around you. So if you in middle school or high school and you dating a man in his mid-20s and everybody around you, your homegirls, you think that's okay, and you seen your mother do it, then what? So my thing is always we have to break
because he shouldn't be dating her.
Yeah, and I say it's crazy because I was talking about that with my recently. Back when I was in school, I didn't even realize it was happening. But now I think back on it, I was remember girls was getting picked up by dudes after school. Grown
yeah,
and
talking about that.
Yes, that's crazy. Men that was driving. We was in like middle school. Grown men was picking them up at school. Like that was now I think about it, they had to be grown.
Yeah, we talked about that. That's the same point when we started talking about R. Kelly. But
we spoke on that before, and I'm gonna come back to that. I wasn't trying to take up for R. Kelly, and I kept telling people that I'm not taking up for R. Kelly and none of his actions. But what I'm saying is, I remember when I look back, and when I was in middle school, and when I was in high school, the girls that I went to school with, a lot of them were dating men way older than them. A lot of girls that were my age used to be like, they don't date dudes their age. Exactly. They don't date dudes or men in their grade or in their school. They dated dudes. Those dudes had apartments, cars, and everything.
The thing of it is, but then you gotta maybe that's the time when you're talking to young people to find out what is their idea of normal. And when you bring up people like R. Kelly, for him, that's normal. He doesn't see what he did. He doesn't see a problem with what he did.
Because he can't help who he's
You know what I
attracted
mean?
to.
And he's like, it's normal. I've been doing it. And I've been singing Get Freaky with Me since seventh grade. You know what I mean? And so I don't understand what the big deal is. But when we talk about young women and they're bringing children to the world, and then maybe the relationship is not working out with the biological dad or whatever the case may be, and now they want to continue in the dating world, you know, we're not utilizing our best judgment when we're doing it, you know, because we want what we want. And I'm like, and somewhere along the way, somebody didn't teach us about making sense of your moves. Now, when I had my daughter, I was 20, I was a little older. I made up in my mind that I was going to make that sacrifice. So while she was growing up, I never let men come to my house. Never let men come to my house. And that was a no-no.
So I want to read one of the comments. I'm sorry. So she said, young girls work on the concept of the guys my age can't buy me things or take me anywhere. So I'm going to mess with an older man who can provide for me the way men provide for my mother, sister, etc.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just know here,
Okay.
you just said that.
And provide you that. Provide
Behavior
you
that
with
was
out.
shown though.
But that would be the only reason that I can imagine that a young girl that age would need a guy that's that old. Because otherwise, we can pants rub, we can play hide, go free, we can do whatever with guys my age. But if there are things, and it's so funny, related to LGBT. You know, a lot of those kids get kicked out of their houses because their parents can't deal with their sexuality. However, they have sex with people to meet their basic needs.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing. So if in my household I can't buy you the daiquiris and tennis skirts, you're going to get you a boyfriend who can do that for you.
But I feel like that's a whole different conversation, because now you're talking about survival.
But that's that is the premise. But that's the premise. If I'm 15 years old, and when I come home from school, it's never nothing in the refrigerator. My mother always gone, or she always got some man sitting in here, and she's never paying me any attention. When I tell her I need some personal items, none of that is getting handled. If I run into a man and the first thing he do is lay that squirrel in the hand, I'm like, oh shit. Plymouth Rock just landed on me.
But again, we touching different topics.
I get it.
And it's different strokes for different folks. You're right. Everybody's situation and circumstance is different, you know. But the idea is that in order for us to understand what drives people to do some of the things, you gotta talk to them. You gotta get in their mind and see.
That's true.
How do they see life? You standing on the outside looking at them and looking at the decisions that they're making, but you don't see where all of that stem from. You recognize a woman who may have had a difficult upbringing. You can recognize that. Why? Because you're dealing with children right now who having a difficult upbringing. You had a difficult upbringing.
No, but that's true. That's true, because I know a community meeting I was just at recently, about 2 weeks ago. I spoke and I was trying to help connect individuals with certain resources. And the young lady pulled me behind, after everybody left. And we worked on getting her housing afterwards, but she told me exactly just that. She said, Mr. Hawkins, I am homeless. The way that I feed myself, the way that I take care of myself, and the way that I maneuver is by having sex with older men. This young lady is in the 10th grade. She is already having full-blown sex physically with tons of men that are way older than her, because for her, that is survival.
Exactly.
So that's what I mean by that's different. She's doing that for survival, but you have other young girls who doing it because they think it's cool. They do it because it is a part of a culture that we date older.
I think that it is. It's part of the culture in which they are assimilated.
Right.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're learning from. Is the examples that
and nobody is telling them that it's wrong. And when they do tell them it's wrong, keep in mind your tone is not what you say; it's the way you say it. So if you come to them and say, y'all little hot ass is out here scoring every goddamn body, y'all is not but a bunch of hoes, then Right. They're not gonna absorb that you're actually meaning well and that you're trying to help them to see that you really don't have to go that route, that this is not fun and this could actually cost you your life. You know what I mean? So of course you have to bring it to them in a way. If you put yourself in put yourself in their shoes for a minute. Somebody trying to teach or tell you something. Preaching at somebody is one thing, but talking to somebody
Right.
and allowing them to in turn feed you. You know what I mean? It's 10 years ago. I couldn't imagine myself listening to some of the bull crap that I've had to listen to in the past. Now I can because now it's easier for me to sit and try to understand somebody's maybe where they're coming from just a different standpoint.
Another thing though, I don't think a lot of parents actually understand the high level of sex that's going on with their children.
Maybe they don't.
Maybe
I
maybe
think
maybe,
they-
maybe they don't
What you mean, like
understand.
their children
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
So in middle school, right now, all across the U.S., but I'm gonna speak on Baltimore. A lot of these young kids are already full-blown sexually active. So as somebody that has worked in a school, been in a school, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, that's middle
12
school,
to 14
basically.
ish.
So these young kids are already full-blown. So if you're not interacting with your kids, if you're not teaching them, talking to them, conversing with them, if you don't have a strong relationship with them, if you're not monitoring them the proper way, if you just let them go about their day, man, 2 years ago, my first couple of weeks in the school, I was at this new school. I'm clearing out the hallway, excuse me. I hear these young girls in the bathroom. And she like, girl, I let her put it in my butt last night. It hurt so bad. It hurt so bad. So wait, she like, it hurt so bad. I'm about to tell you, that's what blew me. I hear them talking. They didn't know somebody was in the hallway. So I go around the corner. They're like, oh my God, Mr. Hawkins. So they go take off in the bathroom. I ain't leave. I wasn't going to go in the girls' bathroom. I'm still right there, waiting for them to come out. I said, y'all got to go to class, so y'all got to come out. She like, no, Mr. Hawkins, you going to get us in trouble. I said, let me talk to you. She come out the bathroom. I had never taught her before. I'm asking them questions. This young girl had just got into the 6th grade. This was her first year in middle school, and she already was talking about having anal sex with a dude older than her. So she was in the 6th grade. Her first sexual encounter was anal sex with a dude in the 12th grade.
Oh my God.
So I called her mother and had this conversation with her mother because first of all, it was something that needed to be done. Second of all, by law, I had to at that point because I'm an educator.
Right.
What I learned from that was by me connecting with her mother and trying to help the little girl, the mother down there didn't even care. How the mother handled me, it was almost like the mother gave me attitude.
Right.
Basically, the mother basically gave me attitude for even trying to even help her with her daughter.
Because the reality of it was she may have sold her into that. That's why she
might have.
That's why she may have reacted to you like that. Because at this point now, it ain't just you coming to her to let her know that your daughter is engaging in what I think is some risky activity. She run the risk now of having child protective services coming down to look at her.
Definitely.
To see
You run the risk of having investigation into what's going on.
Exactly.
Because your child was inappropriately touched, basically. So Tawana is saying when her father passed away, she lost contact with his whole family, and she's just getting to know them. I only knew my sisters and brother. Glad I didn't hook up with a cousin that she knows of. I actually met one of my siblings when we were 15. We're the same age. I think he's born in November, I'm born in December or something like that. But we're very close in age, and I didn't even meet him until I was 15. So we could have very much so played hide, go, freak, or whatever, because we lived in the same neighborhood. But that was some of those things that people kept secret, and I just don't understand that. If there are other children, let those children know each other. Don't have them out here not being able to communicate with each other just because the two mothers don't get along and all that other nonsense. Let people know, like, listen, you got a sister and brother. I'm not going to be with a guy and he's not taking care of his children. I'm not doing that. Because then, so let me ask you this. So because you're trying to uplift this king and help him be the man that he needs to be. As the female, are you going to embrace these kids, bring them into your home, and you do more than he does for his own children?
No, that's why I said.
But I think a lot of women do that.
I know plenty of them.
Yeah, a lot, and I always wanted to speak on that. A lot of women accept a man who does not properly raise or take care of his children, and the woman come in and play more of a part and a role in taking care of these children. Like I literally know women. I don't know what is it called, but I know women.
It's so good. It's so good. The mothers be respected. Like, yeah, she handled business.
Again, that's selfish and opportunistic.
And it's dangerous. Like I said, you put your children in the care of somebody else. You don't really know.
But not all of them. They be good. They be good women.
Can I clear that up, though? I want to clear that up. I'm not saying it's anything because I don't want nobody to misunderstand and misquote me. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a step parent or secondary parent coming in helping raise your child. Nothing is wrong with that. Because I know factually the man that showed me the most love, support, and helped me raise me for a small stint of my life was my stepfather. My stepfather had way of a larger impact on my upbringing and my lifestyle when him and my mother was together than my biological dad. So my stepfather played a huge role in certain things. He the one that wrote me in boxing. I learned how to box because he sent me to the boxing program. And when my stepfather met my mother, I think I was about 4. I was about 4. No, I was like 5. I was about 5, and my mother had already had another child as well. And my younger sister was like 1 or something. I'm like 5. My other sister was like 1. My stepfather stepped up as a man and took care of both of us while they were together. Now, when they weren't together, that was a different story. But when they were together,
isn't that
a lot of the expectation is that, in my personal opinion, that if a man is going to be with a woman, you got to accept me and my kids. I know women who literally say it like that. If you want to be with me, you got to accept me and my kids. No matter if I got 5, 7, 1, or 10, you got to accept my kids.
And okay, I'll take that. But then I'm gonna analyze that. When you say you have to accept me and my children, I don't have a problem with that. I accept the fact that you had children. What I'm not going to accept is that you want me to stand there and do something for them that is the responsibility of their father. That is something that you and them biological children's father need to have a discussion about.
Tawanda is very supportive. She said it probably don't sit right with her that he doesn't take care of his children. So she probably thinks if she steps up, so will he.
No. If I can't.
Everybody said no in unison.
No. There's no way in the world. There's no way for me to be a role model to a man to teach him or how to step up or to do what
I think you're supporting him though.
But supporting him is one thing. Me supporting you looks like this. If you say, okay, I want to become a business owner. I got an idea. And I'm like, okay, so did you write your business plan out? What you got going on? Me supporting you is, okay, do you need me to type it? You need me to spell check, do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Me supporting you is you saying, okay, I'm a little tired. You know what I mean? Can you make sure that, I got a little dinner or something like that ready? Cool, I got you on that. But when children are involved, that's very different. You cannot expect me to parent somebody else's children without you talking to me about that person. You're not volunteering me to be nobody's mommy. I don't like that. I think that's intrusive. I think it's rude.
So as a man, how I see it, and this is just me, Wesley Hawkins is already Wesley Hawkins, the man. I don't need a woman to build me. Can a woman come enhance me? Yes. What a lot of women, just my personal stance on it, what a lot of women try and think they can do is build this man to become what she want him to be. This man is already who he is. Can she help him be better at things? Yes. But if women feel like when they get with certain men, it's like a project or something. Like they're trying to create and mold this project. This man is already who he is, but can she make him better? Can she help some things get better? Can she help him deliver on certain things? Yes, she can. So me as Wesley, I'm already me. I'm already doing who I am. But can a woman come along and help me become more organized? Yes. A woman can come and help me organize certain things. Can a woman come and maybe help me be a little bit more supportive with Elijah or something? Yes, but I already do these things by myself without anybody telling me it's mandatory or making me do it. I already raised my little brother as a single parent man by myself. So it's not like a woman going to come in and had to be like, oh, Wesley, Elijah ain't eat today, or Elijah don't have no clothes, or Elijah don't go to school, or Elijah, she not about to have to come and create a wheel. But can she help that wheel spin? Of course. And a lot of women walk into a picture in a situation with a man that she's like, oh, he has a lot of potential. Let me grow his potential. His potential got to want to be grown.
I mean, for me, it's important. Like, if I meet a guy, I want to meet his family. I want to know where he came from. And the reason being is because
that's rude and intrusive.
It may be, but I need to know. I want to meet your mama. I want to meet, if you come from a two-parent household or one, I want to meet your mother. And I want to watch the interaction between you and your mother.
Oh, that's very important.
And I'm like, and the reason being is because if what I see looks like I'm a mama's boy type of situation, or
you have a horrible relationship with your mother.
A horrible relationship with your mother, or you can't make, or you don't know, or you're not intuitive. You won't make a move unless my mother says make a move. You know what I mean? I need to see that. Because if that's what I see, then I already know what I'm dealing with. Now it's time for me to make the decision whether I want to continue and even move along with that.
All right, well, with that being said, with that being said, and I see this a lot, why do women always try to, if you see a man that has a good and very strong relationship with his mother, why do the women come in and try to kind of combat and compete and like have a problem with that? Like, I know women literally right now that have extreme bad relationships. I know women right now that are in their 30s and 40s or late 20s that have extreme bad relationships with the man, mother. They get in arguments. They try to be attitudes.
I'll tell you something though. It's not always, I think, that women want to have bad relationships with the guys' mothers, but I think that, you know, for some women, they feel like once I become a part of your son's life, your role as his mother has to change. You gotta cut that apron. You gotta cut them apron strings.
Mother's not gonna do that for those mama's boys. They're not gonna do that.
And that's why I need to see that. And that's why I need to see that, because if that's what I see, I know what I'm up against. I know what this is, and that is the time for me to make a decision whether I even want to be bothered with that.
I have like a 50-50 like feeling about that. I don't know why women think it's a bad thing for a man to have a strong relationship with his mother. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Because there's a difference between having a strong relationship and just literally being codependent on your mom.
So sometimes, sometimes there has to be a transition stage that y'all don't know how to properly do because you're trying to fight against it instead of learning from his mother and then taking the control of that steering wheel. So what I tried to say a little bit earlier is that man might be who he is as a man, and there's certain things that his mother is bringing to the table to help him be great with. If that woman was smart enough, she would come get up under the mother and learn what the mother tricks and traits are to making the son happy, and then she take over those things.
That's
A lot of the time,
different kind
no,
of
I'm not saying.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that simply because
I see it all the time.
I see it all the time. And I can see where him and mommy might, they move together like this, and
Right.
those type of things happen, and that works, yada yada yada. I don't need to get up under her to get her tools of the trade. What I need to do is I need for him to know that these are two different women. My tools of the trade ain't gonna look like mine.
No, what
And
he's
that's
saying,
what
no,
I'm
what he's
saying.
saying is, as a woman, personally, if she sees that it's something that his mom does that he gets joy from, and he gravitates to his mother, something like that, and she gets a jealous feeling from it, that's what it is, jealousy. What she should do is be observative and see, like, okay, well, his mom does that.
Give me
I'm gonna try
so,
that.
okay.
I'm gonna try that. Those
So
behaviors.
if he says, I'm going over to my mother's house because my mother likes to do my laundry. Oh, and I love when my mother do my laundry. And I'm sitting up there in my mind that, okay, cool. She might like to do your laundry when you're 21, 22, or 23, but after a certain stage, when do you learn how to do your laundry?
No, maybe he knows how, but he just enjoys his mom. Maybe just mom.
So I
don't have a woman.
I think
every man is
y'all
different.
misunderstand.
Every man is different. If that man doesn't like doing laundry and he like his significant other or a woman to do his laundry for him, he gets that joy from his mother. What he's saying is, as a woman, she should just want to adapt that behavior to try to get that joy from my man as well.
And I can understand that, but at the same time, I think that because people are individuals, you should operate as that. I can handle you saying that there's certain things that my mom does for me that I really appreciate. You know what I mean? And it helps me out. But then there comes a point when, fine, you can appreciate what mom does, but if you had me, your significant other in your life, you need to recognize which is which. Because I think what happens to guys that are like that, the expectation never leaves. You never make the separation. You go to her like, oh no, she don't do it like my mother do it. She don't do it like how my mama do it. You never make the separation. That creates an automatic problem between who, the significant other, and the mother. Because now she's feeling like, wait a minute, you expected me to be like her? I'm not her. I'm not her. And I need you is I can love and accept the fact that you love your mother and that you love things about the way that she does, but understand if you're gonna have a significant other, you're gonna have to learn to make the separation between the two. You're not, or at least I'm not.
I think y'all misunderstanding what I'm saying. Y'all talking about in like more so a handicapped form of a man that's just like mommy can't leave her breast. What I'm trying to articulate to you all is certain things that make a person happy and how a person like things done. Sometimes a lot of relationships fail. It doesn't matter how long you've been married. Sometimes a lot of relationships fail. And in the United States, over 50% relationships and marriages end because people don't know each other the proper way. So y'all saying people are different. No, sometimes you want to love somebody how you want to love them, but they need you to love them how they need to be loved. So your love might be materialistic things, but that woman might need love from certain foods or certain trinkets or certain gifts or small little toys or something. I'm not saying be like his mother. It's certain things that the mother may know, like, yo, this is what helped motivate my son. This is what pushes my son. This is what makes him happy. And then the woman might come in and she might love him or want him, but she don't know how to motivate him. She don't know how to get him out of his sad moment. I see it all the time when it's women that's with a man. She don't know how to make him feel good. She don't know how to make him get like calm down because she don't know how to pick up on the ways that people operate.
Then from a man's standpoint, whose responsibility is it to convey that message to your significant other? Is it yours as the man or is it the mother's?
No, it's the jealous. It's the woman because if she's feeling some kind of way, that's jealousy. The man is happy; he's content with his mother's relationship and with yours. But if you're feeling some kind of way about the relationship between him and his mother, then it's your responsibility to adapt those behaviors. It's not his to be like, oh, hey, you should start being like my mother. No, because you're feeling some kind of way. So as a responsible, significant other, you should be like, man, instead of getting jealous, I see how I know right.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna point it in a different way, using me as an example and men as an example. I always want to date a woman who have a strong relationship with her father. You know why? Because in my mind frame, from what I see in my experiences, those women have certain ways and views that they've seen. Now they have those expectations, right? So that woman has those expectations of a man. Unless I'm holding it down like I'm supposed to, I can't get mad or jealous of what the father or the big brother is doing unless I'm coming in and I'm being a man and I'm holding it down. Now, if I'm holding it down and she's still, that's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. If you holding it down and meeting certain quotas and expectations in a relationship and he's still like, oh, my mom, that's different. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, as a man, if I get with a woman and that woman, father, holds her down all around the board, she not with a man. And her father's that protector, that savior, that financial, whatever he's doing. That father probably not going to want to let go of his daughter until he see and show and respect that this man can take over that driving wheel. I know for a fact that's the type of father I'm going to be. If God bless me with a daughter, I'm going to be the best father I could possibly be. And I'm not going to expect my daughter to let go of me. And I'm not going to let go of my daughter and freely let it go until I can see like, yo, this man is really the one that's going to hold it down. Some of y'all get it twisted. Y'all think just because this man is handsome or he's cute or he got a big penis or he got a couple dollars, he's the one. That's why a lot of this stuff is happening the way it's happening. And people are like looking foolish after they didn't put this time into it. If that man not showing you, like, yo, I'm here for you, besides your booty and your breast, I'm here for you for your mind, to see you reach greatness, to see you succeed, to see you be happy, to protect you, to nurture you, to help you and grow with you. Bro, he ain't that. Some of us think, oh, he got a forearm in his pants, so I love him. You love, oh, he eating my box backwards. Right. I love him. Oh, that's not love. Seriously.
That's some top level.
Okay, hold on, because y'all got a lot of comments here. So Christy is saying women enable the behavior and we need to raise the bar for the men. Tawanda is saying, I don't know, we need a woman that deal with that type of dude, meaning like on a shoulder talk. So Christy is saying that support looks different in every relationship, which is very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. So Latia is saying, I don't date men with children. You're selfish. I mean, you could be passing up your...
But honestly, I can understand it though. Seriously, you know what I mean?
They don't agree with you. They're saying you're shallow.
Woo, that's a lot to take.
No, I get that it can be a lot to date somebody with a child, but at the same time, they could have had that child at something like a lot of us at a young age. And then now you have the child at a young age, you don't operate on that same mindset. So you could be way more developed. I just like using myself because I can't speak on too many more people personally than I can speak on me. The 23-year-old Wesley is a completely, totally different, 1,000, 10,000, 1,000,000% different than the 33-year-old Wesley. It's a whole different man. When I was 23, the term I used, I wanted to smack everything walking. You feel what I'm saying? Like, seriously, unless I cared about it more. Certain people out here and certain women know me in a certain sense that if I cared about them more, I wanted to protect them and make sure they was good, and I didn't treat them like that. But if it was just somebody I didn't care about, yeah, I just wanted to do whatever. But the man, me now, I'm not about to just be laid up with you, just treating you no type of way, because that hurts me. You know, even sometimes we get sexually caught up in our needs physically, where we feel like we want to feel good physically with a man or with a woman. I get temptations too. I'm a man, you feel what I'm saying? But I don't treat no woman bad. I ain't no woman out here walking around saying, yo, Wesley trashing me.
I expect maybe the guys in maybe in their 30s and young 20s or whatever to come and they may have children. That's the expectation.
Oh,
But
God.
for me,
Everybody can be down.
if a guy is over the age of 45 and he talking about, oh, I got a 2-year-old,
Oh,
yes, you
shit.
got the 2-year-old.
Yeah.
I got the red light.
Oh my God. She says, amen, because the Lord knows 23-year-old Wesley was off the hook. Come on, don't,
Yes,
look,
he
don't be
was.
tagging that, man.
Man, more.
I mean, but that's how you learn to be who you are, and that's through. I mean, you had a good time.
Yeah,
You had fun.
I did, but that was also taught behavior to me, because even other women be like, oh, my son gonna be a player. You got women saying their son gonna be a player.
Okay, yeah.
You got men telling their sons to smack everything up. And it took for me to get older, wiser, and more mature and learn from people that knew things better than me, and actually me learn from that wisdom to see right now, actually, what a lot of us are doing are adding more damage and trauma to the pot that we living in. So we living in this pot, and a lot of people are hurt. We literally living in a pot of people who are hurt. It's tons and tons of women that are hurt. It's tons and tons of men that are hurt. And we are still over-sexualized. So when we live in a world when a lot of the women are hurt and a lot of the men are hurt, and people not taking the time to get themselves together emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, or whatever way you need to get your energy and your chakras together, if you're not getting yourself together and you just jumping back in the pool, I know women that literally do this. Oh, he ain't work. Next week, got another dude. Next week, I got another dude. They dating 4 or 5 dudes at the same time. And I talk about it all the time. Oh, he the one who take me to dinner. He the one who pays my bills. He the one I'm smacking up. He the one give me good head. He the one who got the nice car. Like, yo, women be having a roster of 5 different men. And when something happens, why does it always fall on the man?
But that's a maturity
Oh,
issue.
y'all got a whole bunch of comments here.
Oh, let's get it. What they saying?
So 2 people reference K. Michelle's song, You Can't Raise a Man. And so Sherry is saying, a man, he's already grown. What are you going to do? And so she's agreeing.
Okay.
So she says she does want to know how you do treat your mom, because I think that is very important. That relationship is going to tell you a lot. So if you have a poor relationship with your mom, it's most likely that you didn't develop good enough skills to have a good relationship with a woman. That's just been my experience.
Yes.
Definitely. So Christy is saying some mothers do step outside their lanes. And that's when you get into that situation where you have that mama's boy and she's controlling your relationship. That is detrimental to a relationship that you're trying to establish, or one that's already established, marriages and stuff like that. Because then a mother doesn't really know her place.
Right, she has boundaries as well.
Exactly. So those boundaries definitely need to be set up. But Tank, who's a guy, he's saying he disagrees. It takes time to meet his family. We have to take time and get to know each other first. What y'all think about that?
Fine.
First off, wait.
He's saying you're not meeting his family. Y'all 2 have to work out whatever it is you're gonna work out first before you even get to that point.
I agree with that. I literally agree with that. And the reason why I agree with that is because your family should be special. I don't get why people don't see this and understand this ideology that your family, because everybody you date shouldn't be able to say, yeah, I met your big brother, I met your uncle, I met your cousin, I know your grandmother. When a woman is dating me, if she's somebody I'm really dealing with, she's going around the family. If you just a smack session, you not me and my family.
That's why the saying, that's why the whole saying is take you back home to mom.
Seriously,
That saying is important.
So that should be an indication that you're just getting smacked up.
Right.
seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you're not, and that's big on what's his name, Tank. That's big. Tank being real. Like for sometimes women will have you around everybody. Women will bring you to the family cookout. They'll bring you to the dance. You know why? It's like sometimes women just want to be seen with somebody.
Yes.
Sometimes a lot of women want to be seen with somebody.
Well, someone is thinking that she really is thinking that this relationship is a lot.
See, you're talking different. I'm not talking about that. It's women out here, and I'm not trying to bash y'all. We just speaking on real. It's women out here that every dude she's dating, he at the Christmas balls. He at the little parties. Like seriously, we
like, oh, who that?
Y'all gonna stop doing it.
No, we just being real. Like y'all know what y'all be doing. Y'all, no, because it's time to change the narrative. And the narrative is always that the man and the men are dogs and the men don't do this and men don't do that. But my thing is, when do other women hold each other accountable? When do women be like, girl, come on, don't even do that? I know women that purposely date and have sex with a man, he married already, bro, and she's still ready to get it smacked. And I'm not even talking about a man and a woman that has like some type of past love or fling or knew each other before, and it was hard for them to let that go. I'm talking about it's brand new, like she just met him, and she about to try to date him, and he married.
But see, there's a difference with that one because
come on,
even though you say it, but no, it is because. She can't get smacked up unless he's willing to be a willing participant. Simple as that. You can't come in and break up nothing that's already broke. Period. You know what I mean? You can't necessarily talk bad about her because she's ready to smash this married dude. The married dude is a willing participant. But if it's something else, if you saying she trying to smash this dude or whatever dude that's coming along and bringing them
for another day.
No, we ain't going past that.
No.
But we not going past that. That's not what I said.
Everybody that I talk to, the first thing they want to do is they want to put the onus on a woman. But can't no woman get none of what's in your drawers unless you are.
That's not what I was saying, though. What I'm saying is, where is the loyalty and where is the honor and where is the respect amongst other women? A lot of women sit around and say men are dogs, men ain't shit. My question was, women will know this man has a family, he's married, he got fiance, he live with him, and she still go after him. Why she ain't holding her sister down?
But what makes you think we're not? A lot of times women do say
I'm talking to too many people in this world, man.
But wait a minute, but you talking to a limited amount.
No, I'm not.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Because reach a lot of people out here.
I know that.
Change, you know what I mean? Show. We gonna talk about that on another day.
But the thing of it is
we don't know.
Women do talk, and we do hold each other accountable. We do give each other ideas.
But most times,
women ain't shit.
I'm gonna agree with Wesley. I don't give a fuck about what's happening at home. I'm not asking no questions. That's your house,
right?
But you, yeah. So I mean, so it's just like, I mean, I'm not gonna do it, but I'm just saying, most women are not caring what's happening at home, what you doing, and all that.
We don't want to hear all of that. If you coming over my house and I know why you coming, I don't want to hear about. Well, my wife, she really getting on my nerves and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that's between y'all. First of all, if she was getting on my nerves, you should have said something too. Or don't bring that to me. If you're coming over here for a purpose, get the popping. And then you take all that mess and go back home.
So I don't want to hear y'all talking about men.
Give me no headache. So that way you know about your
I don't want to hear it no more. Y'all can't bring that to my table about men, dogs, and men this because women get it popping just like men are.
It is the man stepping out on his relationship. He's the one who's married.
Right. He's like asking him to do it.
But anyway, so Christy is saying, know your love languages. Sherry is agreeing.
I like that, Christy.
You know your love language. You know yours.
Yeah. Know your love language. Like, know how you want to be loved. Like, it's different ways to be loved. Like some.
You know yours?
Yes, I do. Some people love language. Again, like I said earlier, some people love language. Could be materialistic type things. Like, she want gifts. She want trinkets. She want a new house, new car, bags, slick dresses, and heels. That might really make her feel good. That's how she want to be loved. I know women like that. Then you might have another woman that she don't care about the gifts. She just wants your time. She wants you to spend as much as time with her as possible. You know what I'm saying? And some women.
My love
Can I get a combo?
You smart, like
you are sapiosexual like me.
Yo, this right here.
Yes.
People don't see. I'm a little spoiled. I'm a little spoiled. I'm a little spoiled. So let me be real. On a woman with this right here turns me on to the fullest. Like, I don't like a woman being extremely pretty with all the big tail and breasts, but she don't got it here. I'm good. I'm not putting a ring on her finger. But a woman that got it up here and she appealing to the eyes, I'm gone. I'm gone. Oh, I never lie. I love beautiful women. Like, it ain't gotta be exotic. She always try to put that code on me, y'all.
And that's what you like, fine.
I just like beautiful women. No, I like beautiful women. Like, if I think you're beautiful,
That's shallow. He like
Nah.
beautiful women.
nah. What you mean that ain't shallow? What's beautiful to me?
Wesley likes exotic.
Because your mind can be.
You haven't even seen the women.
So he like the Latina,
Yeah.
what you say, or the Hawaiian, or
Costa
the
Rican, Colombian.
Oh, that's fine.
That's okay, baby. That's okay, baby. You like the Jennifer Lopez.
That's terrible. No. What I'm saying is, can I speak? What I'm saying is, if she's beautiful to me, I like a pretty woman. Like, it don't matter her race or ethnicity. That's not what I'm big on. If she has the right mentality and she's a beautiful person, that's what turns me on. I'm not the one running around here saying she got to be this race or that race or this and that. That's not me, because I believe love come in different languages, love come in different shapes, sizes, and all type of things. But if she's beautiful to me, I don't really worry about what the world thinks if she's treating me well. It's about me at the end of the day. And sometimes people get caught up on the wrong thing. You trying to impress the world. But what is that man or woman making you feel like behind those closed doors? Because if you're going out to the world trying to find the most the most physically fit or the tallest man, and I'm not even saying this because first of all, I'm 5'7", right? I'm cool with that. Because that don't bother me. I jump real high, I run real fast, I'm hella strong, I'm massive smart. So me being 5'7", I'm good. Got 4 arms walking around cars. But no, time out. What I would say is, I've heard women say certain things like, oh, he too short for me. But he wasn't a midget, though. But what I'm saying is, let me make a point. I watch women turn down a really, really, really good man, establishing his career, no kids, own crib, nice car, money in the bank, good investments, dress nice and all that. Never been to jail, but he not 6'5", so she good. And I've also watched women that'll date a 6'5" dude or 6'2" or 6'3", and he won't have nothing. He got to live in her apartment. He got to drive her car when she go to work, and he using her EBT card to eat food. But he's 6'2", he's 6'3". So what I'm saying is, you got to see what makes you happy. And me personally, if you're not making me happy mentally, I'm good.
But this is where education comes in. I mean, when we were talking about earlier about having those babies and not identify real life parentage and things of that nature, that's where education comes in at. And I'm talking about from the cradle. You know what I mean? When you growing up, when you don't have people who have the wherewithal to teach you, number one, in girls, to teach us to identify with ourselves, to recognize what's good in us, to recognize what our needs are, and to pursue them in a proper way.
I gotta ask the deep question.
I mean, we sitting here having this conversation, but the reality of it is that a lot of us are just growing.
Hey, who like that? Who just liked her comment? How do I see who liked it? She said, so Wes, you describe your character traits, so why are you single?
But
we gotta have a whole.
That's the thing. But are you
show just about
a
that?
lot of people identify with you.
So listen, we laugh and joke at Wesley, right? But I think that Wesley is like a catch. He has a lot of the attributes.
But I think
it's
it's intimidating to women.
Yeah, and his expectations are really
high.
high.
And he is strong. He is testifying to this, and he's not backing down off of it.
Exactly, and he should not. And he should not, because he knows what's going to make him happy, right? So we laugh at it all the time. But if women do not meet his standards, he should not settle. And a lot of times what happens on the other way around. A lot of women settle. And so he knows what it is that he's wanting. So while he gave that analogy we used to talk about all the time, 500,000, only 100,000 of them women will even meet those standards that it is that he's looking for. So that's why it's so hard. But I really do get it. Even though we laugh and joke about it, I think that it's very important that he hold his standards high and he waits for that person to come along and not just give himself up.
But see,
because he has a lot of duties as well.
But somebody was teaching teaching him something along the way. For him to now know and say, look, this is what it is for me. This is who I am. This is what I want to be. We got to do the same thing for our own young girls and our own young men. We got to show them that it's okay to go after what you like. It's okay to say, look, this is not what I want to deal with, or this is something that I like, and act on it. I mean, but when we don't put things in proper perspective, it's easy for us to look at it and say,
right.
that girl that slept with 35 different dudes and none of them have worked out. But has anybody ever asked her, when you go with these men, what is it that you're looking for? Or what is it that you like? Do you even know what you like? They're not going to ask you because
you're having
So that's
relationships.
that's a whole different
You're having service relationships.
But the problem is that children are coming out of this stuff.
They are.
And they're being caught up in the middle of things because I may not be mature enough to identify or know how that thing works. And I'm steady gripping. I'm steady, holding on the strings, trying to grab, trying to form relationships, but I don't know how. And the only way that seems to work is when I'm volunteering to get that smacked up. You know what I mean?
So no, what you just said is extremely real, and I'm not gonna get really deep into it because I'll be a little while trying to explain. I'm a really extreme thinker, and to answer your question, you said, why am I single? So these women spoke on it a little bit. My standards are high, but I also have the mind frame that we live in Baltimore City. Baltimore City is one of the smallest cities in the United States. The United States is one of the smallest countries in the world. On this planet, there are 7 billion people on this planet. A lot of us are closing ourselves into just our small radius, and we're not traveling. We're not going to other countries. We're not going to other states. And I'm not that type of person. My mind is so big, sometimes I feel like it's bigger than what it's supposed to fit in my brain, in my head, in my skull. My mind is so big, I see the world at a larger scale. So I don't just look at this small city as Baltimore as the be-all, end-all. First of all, Baltimore is very small, and Baltimore has a certain mentality that I don't necessarily agree with. So the mentality, if we want to be honest and get to the deep root of it, and again, I said we can really go into this, and I don't have enough time, but there's a mentality here in Baltimore City of people that I don't really necessarily connect to, even though I'm from here, even though I love the people here, even though I'm invested and I do a lot of work here. When I start to really speak and open up about who I am, a lot of women, they are first one intrigued by how I look, what they think I have, what I do, and who I am as a man. But once they get up here, they get intimidated and they don't know how to handle what I have up here. I'm just being honest. So she asked me the question, I'm being real. A lot of women, a lot of our sisters, a lot of people don't know how to handle this. Seriously. And when I speak from the sense of trying to help someone become better, sometimes it's looked at as you're judgmental. But that's not what it is. I see it in a sense of we can be so much greater and so much better at a higher level, but we have to open up our minds. We have to open up our hearts to such a larger scale than just this small surface of things that we living on. A lot of people are living at just at the beginning, a small surface, and haven't even seen this world. I'm not judging no one. I'm not. But some people live on East Baltimore and don't know nothing about West Baltimore. Some people live in West Baltimore and don't know nothing about East Baltimore. Some people live on a block in East Baltimore and don't know 5 blocks down the street. If your mindset is that small and confined, then you look at me as overwhelming. So because of my mind, I can be overwhelming to some. So when they initially say, oh my God, look at him, or whatever they say about me, and they are interested, once this come out, then it's like, oh my God, I can't.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's too much. So
Zoe is saying black love isn't portrayed as healthy. We don't see that many healthy relationships as examples. So a lot of people don't get the opportunity to build those standards that Wesley has. And I agree 1,000%.
I missed. Say it again. Hold on, one more time.
Black love isn't portrayed as healthy. We don't see that many healthy relationships as examples. So a lot of people don't get the opportunity to build those standards that Wesley has.
That's No, that's just real. A lot of our people don't have it. They just don't. And I'm a big believer in teaching. But the problem is sometimes it takes a long time for somebody to grasp and understand the ideology and the mindset of even trying to be taught certain things. And because I'm very transparent and I'm real and I don't really care about necessarily speaking on things when it comes to me personally, I've had a woman that I was extremely into at a high level. I really was into her. And I tried to help her grow in a lot of ways. And I told her, until we get on the same page mentally, I don't want to be physical. She wanted to get physical a lot. But I'm trying to grow her up here. So to her, I came off as different or judgmental or I think I'm better. That's not what I'm saying to you, sister. Queen, I'm trying to tell you, your body should be cherished. Your body should be a temple. I'm not going to just be, and again, I can fall prey to this because I'm not perfect and I'm a man, and sometimes my needs and wants and yearns make me do things, and then afterwards I be like, dang, I shouldn't have did that. I should have chilled because I'm not perfect. But at the same time, it's times where I'll be like, look, you need to be treated a certain way, and you are the woman. I try not to be the man that necessarily fall prey to sex all the time. But sometimes sex can get you caught up and have you doing things that you shouldn't have done because of that moment and because how you want to feel physically. But I'm a big believer and I'm a big speaker on, and they'll tell you, women being treated a certain way, women respecting themselves, women being loved and respected and treated at a high standard before this man even lay with you. Sometimes I'll be like, what about him even made you want to lay with him? It's certain men, and pause, real pause, and no homo. It's certain men that I can understand why a woman would want him and want to lay with him because of his character, because of what he stands for, because of how he is in this world, because of the legacy of whatever he's doing as a great man. And then there's some men out here, I'm like, I don't even know how he even got her vagina jumping. And that's no disrespect, and that's not hating on another man. That's just, what standards do you have, sister, that you even want to bless this man with your body? It's a woman, in my opinion, should look at her body and herself as, this man has to earn me. I'm not just giving this to him just because I want to have fun. That's not a fun thing.
Okay, so just from on my end, looking at a man, because I think people like me and Keisha can be intimidating to men, and simply not because of where we look, it is what we represent. You know, we represent some education and we have formality about ourselves, and so you know, some men will be intimidated by that alone, and they may not have an interest in getting to know us past that. So, are you saying that the same thing applies to them as it does the women? That's the same issue.
Say it again.
If if we have our own standards, you know, I think I consider us pretty smart women, you know, but there are men that are the same way. Once we start to engage, once we start to have conversations, it's almost like a rejection because of the intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're talking about it from a woman's standpoint, do you think it's the same for the males?
I think
The issue equal, or for men does it mean something else?
I think it depends on who you're talking to and who you're dealing with. Neeuq and I use this example all the time. For men, a lot of the times, there are so many women out here that are giving it up so easy that the woman that's making you work for it, you kind of like,
It's not worth
it's not even worth it because she's making it too challenging.
it.
And I always use this example. If you have 4 million women, 4 million, and 4.5 of those women are giving the cake up for a Pepsi and a chicken box or a movies date, and then 500,000 out of those 4 million are making you actually work for it, it's 4.5, it's 3.5 million women who are just giving it up easy. It's 500,000 that's making it hard. Majority of the times, the main population of men gonna go towards this 3.5 because it's not a lot of work to put in to get that box. So this 500,000, they the ones that you looking at like they stuck up and they this and they that. And well, guess what? My mind frame, they the ones I want. I want the ones that's making you actually work for who she is before she give it to you. If you got work to get her, if you got open doors, if you got to treat her a certain way, if you got to respect her a certain way, if you have to have certain standards to get her, I want her. That's who I need. The one that you can just smack up just because you got a slick outfit, I'm good. I don't want that. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I tell my sisters this. I tell women around me this. I tell my friends this. If I hear men, and it's not hating on them, I got women that can attest to this. I'm not hating on a man. I'm protecting the women around me. If I hear men plotting and just talking about a woman in a sexual manner, I'm letting her know, you good. You don't need that. But if I know he's a good man and he's speaking in a form of he's really interested, I don't even have to make that linkage. But if he's just talking about smacking up somebody I care about, I'm shutting the whole thing down. I don't care if they call me a hater, you call me whatever, because I have some type of connection with her. It could be my sister, my homegirl, my cousin, somebody that worked with me. I'm protecting her. If he just talking about smacking it, you good. I'm shutting your whole smack session down if I can. I don't care if you call me whatever. That's how I look at it. I'll protect you. But if I know he's a good man and he looking to really date shorty, no, I set that up. That's me being held accountable and taking some sense of responsibility, in my opinion, for our women, our culture, and our communities. Because sometimes the only thing we talk about is getting smacked up. The music, the movies, the radio, the magazines, and then we're not looking at the end result of all these children out here with broken homes, all these young girls out here with babies that they can't properly raise, all these young boys that got kids that they're not raising, and the only thing they doing is moving on to another young girl to smack up. I'm not with that.
So is it safe to assume that neither of you would deal with a bum mother? If she didn't take care of her children, would you deal with her?
I'm good.
Now, and when you say don't take care of your children, in your mind, what is the idea of not taking care of your children? Because I know everybody see that a little bit differently. You know what I mean? So
we ain't gonna play with no semantics though. A bum parent is a bum parent. I don't care if you're a woman or a man.
See, but my thing is, I mean, are you the one that doesn't make sure they fed? Is it the one that just every time she ready to go out, boom?
That's that's a bum.
It can be different. No, I see. I understand what she's trying to say. It can be circumstantial.
What's going on when you going out though?
It can be circumstantial. So if a woman is trying to create a better lifestyle for her children or her child, and maybe her mother or her sister or her older cousin or her father, somebody's helping her raise her child, but she out here grinding, and grinding means some type of different 1 or 2 jobs or something, and the kids being raised by the family, but she grinding. That's not a bum mother. That's somebody that's trying to make a difference and change the lifestyle.
Right.
But if you worrying about the next fun thing, the next party, the next this, the next that, and you ain't grinding in no way, and other people always got your child, and you always big funny, and you ain't got your life together, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want no parts of that, because it's different circumstances of people that you can work with. Again, a woman might not be financially stable. She might not have a career together, and she out here grinding from the bottom, and she might have a son or a daughter, and her family helping raise. She's not a bum. She's grinding. But the chick that just worrying about every party, every bottle, every gathering, every this, she not grinding, and she ain't got nothing together, and her family raising a kid. No,
So that woman is actually taking care of her child because she got her child. She was responsible enough to have her child take care of somebody while she grinding and prepared for that child's future. So she's still taking care of that child.
Who's that little chocolate drop across the end of the table? What's your name, sir? How can they follow you?
Young Shugo everything, y'all. YUNGSHOOTA. Young Shugo and everything.
All right.
Try to smooth it out.
I'm tired as hell.
See, that's that smack up language. Right, exactly. That's that smack up language.
Come on, Wesley. This has been a very productive conversation. I really appreciate everybody who came to give their input. I mean, this is really important. I don't know that women should be with these guys who aren't taking care of their children because it speaks to who he is as a person.
But it also speaks to who she is
It does.
as a person.
Yeah, because that means you just going with anything. You stand for absolutely nothing. So I really do appreciate this. We're going to not continue this conversation, but I do have another question to go along with this. Because a lot of times we encourage the other person to be a bum parent. And it in the end still affects the child negatively. It impacts the child. So Wesley, come on, close us out.
Let me close out with. All right, so I want to encourage everybody that if you're in a situation and you feel like you aren't being loved, you aren't being appreciated, and you aren't being treated the way you deserve to be treated, no longer sit there and be afraid. No longer sit there and hold it in. You're not being caged in your own body, in your own home, in your own life. Speak up. Be heard. Let that person know that you feel unhappy. You feel unappreciated. You don't feel safe. You don't feel like you're loved. And after you speak up and let that person know, you properly articulate and speak on and from your heart. If they do not then turn around and address these things that you spoke on, find your way to exit that situation. Don't sit around for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20 years and let your life and time wither away while you with somebody that does not appreciate, love, respect, or take care of you the way you deserve to be appreciated, loved, and respected. So that's what I want to leave y'all with today, that if you are in any situation, regardless of if it's a marriage, if it's a boyfriend, a girlfriend, if it's a fiance, if it's a job, if you are in a situation that you are highly unappreciated, highly disrespected, you don't get the proper treatment you deserve, find your exit. But first speak up, because sometimes people might not know that you feel this way. So speak up. I want to encourage and applaud you to speak up. After you speak up and you've spoken and you've been heard, if it does not change, find a way to exit. Peace and blessings.
Thank you. So listen, y'all, check us out next Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. In August, we're going to have some very hot topics. We actually have a sexpert who's going to be coming in. So she's coming in on the first Monday in August. Make sure y'all checking us out. These topics get hotter and hotter every week. Tyrone is saying somebody snatched this man up. Yeah. Wesley is just so lovely, y'all. Yes. So remember, you got to be in the top 1% of people. So he is not going for it. So exactly. So definitely catch us next week. We love y'all. Follow us on everything. One and Done programs, the No Leader Project. Hit us up. Open Wide with Neeuq is the show. So we'll see y'all next week.
Oh, I had to